What's the most satisfying way you've ever watched someone's lies catch up with them in real time? I was 22 when my boss Richard hired his nephew Trevor as our social media specialist. The problem? Trevor knew nothing about social media, marketing, or basic decency. Within a week, Trevor was taking credit for campaigns I'd spent months developing. He'd waltz into client meetings with my presentations, my ideas flowing from his mouth like he'd thought of them himself. When clients complimented his work, he'd smile and say, "Just comes naturally to me." Richard ate it up. Trevor has such fresh perspective. Maybe you could learn something from him. Meanwhile, Trevor claimed he'd graduated from New York University with honors in digital marketing. He name-dropped internships at major agencies and claimed he'd grown his previous company's Instagram from 0 to 100K followers. The truth? Trevor had dropped out of community college and spent 3 years selling cell phone cases at the mall. Richard promoted Trevor to marketing director after 2 months. Trevor got the corner office, company car, and 40% raise. I got told I was lucky to learn from such talent. That's when Trevor made his fatal mistake. He volunteered our agency to present at the annual Digital Marketing Summit. 300 professionals, live-streamed online, promising to share his revolutionary social media strategies. I watched him prepare, stealing frameworks from marketing blogs. The morning of the summit, I arrived early. Trevor took the stage in his shiny new suit. He started strong, regurgitating memorized concepts. But then, someone asked about engagement algorithms. Trevor froze, mumbled about proprietary methods, and moved on. Then, Amanda Torres from Adweek raised her hand. "Could you elaborate on your NYU case study?" Trevor's face went pale. "That's proprietary information. I'd love to hear about Professor Davidson's influence on your strategy." There was no Professor Davidson at NYU. I checked. Trevor started sweating. The audience was getting restless. Then, the worst possible thing happened. A hand shot up. "Trevor? Oh my God, Trevor Williams." It was Brittany, his ex-girlfriend from high school. "I had no idea you were into marketing now. Last I heard, you were still working at Phone Palace in the mall." The room went silent. Trevor's mouth opened and closed like a fish. "Wait," said Kevin Walsh, a recruiter. "I tried to verify your employment history. There's no record of you at any of these agencies." Trevor gripped the podium. "There must be some mistake. And NYU has no record of you graduating, or even attending." The live stream chat was exploding. I pulled out my phone and watched the comments flood in. "This is painful to watch. Someone please help this man. Is this performance art?" I stood up. "Trevor, could you tell us about the Sterling Corp campaign you claimed to develop?" His eyes found mine. I smiled sweetly. "The Sterling Corp campaign that I actually created while you were working at Phone Palace?" I pulled out my laptop. I brought the real analytics. The ones with my name on every report, every strategy document, every client email. 2 years of stolen credit, documented and time-stamped. Trevor bolted from the stage. The audience erupted. Richard called me 17 times in 5 minutes. By the time I got back, Trevor's desk was being cleared out. Richard met me at the elevator, his face red with rage. "How could you humiliate our company like that?" "Your company humiliated itself. I just provided the receipts." 3 days later, Richard offered me Trevor's position. I counter-offered with a 50% raise and a public apology to the team. He agreed to both. Trevor, last I heard, he was working at a different Phone Palace, still claiming to be a marketing consultant between major campaigns. Some people never learn.